This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with FREDRIK WERNER and Andy Johansson of the Swedish heavy metal act Air Raid. If I knew absolutely nothing about Air Raid, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Classic heavy metal with a lot of energy, I would say.
I'd agree with that, and some have compared you to your contemporary Screamer and Enforcer and Ambush. Personally, I hear a little Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force. I definitely hear a Jeff Scott Soto vocal kind of out of you, FREDRIK, and certainly Yngwie's unique style of guitar playing out of you, Andy.
And I get that came along much in the last record, right? Across the Line.
Yeah, we have gone through many different members, and now, for example, with Across the Line album, we got the new guitarist at that time, Magnus. He comes from new classical metal, loves Malmsteen, and I grew up with Malmsteen's music.
So then you guys play off each other in a certain way. So it's always. You get a bunch of guys together and you mix them together and out comes in our case what you hear today. And I got maybe I got that kind of a style down that you said Jeff Scott Soto style, but maybe the bluesy style.
Absolutely, the bluesy tones with the kind of deeper register vocals, because kind of with this style of heavy metal, it's usually the high kind of falsetto thing, but you kind of stay in the low register, but still melodic.
Yeah, we are really. When I was very young, I was already listening to blues, melodic rock music. That's all comes from the blues. And I think FREDRIK is the same.
Yeah.
And I think not every young heavy metal band have that in them. That's why they don't sound. They don't have the same soul,
The trouble is that once you become a part of the community, you start listening to each other, and then it becomes very streamlined. Everything. It can happen.
We are friends with the others, but we don't. That's not where we don't get influenced by our other contemporary bands at the same time. Yeah.
I understand that. Your latest album is coming out on February 24th called Fatal Encounter through High Roller Records. You have a couple of new band members. You have bassist Jan Ekberg and drummer William Seide. How did those guys get recruited for the band?
Well, I actually knew we had quite a big rotation on drummers before William joined, so we needed a guy that we could really rely on, and I've known William for many years, played with him before, so I knew that he's a real pro, the kind of guy we needed.
And I knew John from before. I always knew he's a great bass player, and he liked Air Raid from several years before, so it was an easy choice to contact him.
Was there any animosity with past members, or was it more of the pandemic screwed everybody up, so commitments got screwed up and bands just had to, do what they do?
It's a lot. It's the classic. I would say maybe musical differences, as all bands say. But it's a very. To be in a band is very special. Work very closely, and if you don't go exactly the same path, it can get a bit difficult. So then it's better to walk different ways.
Are you and FREDRIK the main songwriters for the band?
Yeah, I would say so. Fatal Encounter is definitely mainly me and FREDRIK has worked on, and two of the songs is Magnus, the other guitarist, has been involved in.
Well, we worked intensely, especially the last year.
Yeah,
finishing the album.
So, do you guys have a single planned? I didn't see a video. I didn't see a single. It's a little early. It's a month out, but I would assume something's coming soon.
Yeah, you're correct. It's coming within in early February. We will have a lyric video out.
For which song?
Can't tell.
Can't tell. The last interview asked the same, and we said no, we can't tell. So we have to continue.
Which one would you like?
I would go with Thunderblood or Lionheart. I actually probably Lionheart.
Cool.
So that's my vote. So just do them both, and then you just make me happy. So the new music doesn't depart too much from your old music, maybe in the sense that you have different players and kind of different influences and stuff like that. But it's strictly like classic metal. But the one that kind of took me by surprise was Pegasus Fantasy, which is a TV theme to a Japanese anime show. How did you guys end up covering this?
Well, it was my idea. I heard that song a couple of years ago, and since we have a good relationship with a lot of Japanese people, we have been there 2 times playing, and I'm interested in the country, the culture, and everything there. So I wanted to do something special. So I presented this idea to FREDRIK, and
it took me by surprise, I must say.
I expected him to know Japanese, but he sadly said, "I don't know Japanese." Okay. Let's start from.
So you basically have to learn because I don't know how to speak Japanese. You have to learn the song phonetically, how to pronounce every word, and you have to be very precise about this, because just a slight if you pronounce it the wrong way, it might mean something else, and we want to stay true to the what's being said in the original.
Yeah. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like me trying to pronounce Swedish names.
Yeah, exactly.
So you put me on the spot for which song was my favorite and I wanted a lyric video for. So I'll ask each of you, since you don't have any singles out, which songs are your favorite? Obviously, you're proud of them all, but which one do you gravitate towards too?
I just listened to the record today, and I haven't listened to it since it got mastered a couple of months ago, and so I had some fresh ears listening to it today, and well, I was surprised, but when you get the distance to things, you can appreciate them more, and I was surprised how I liked Man of Clay. Often you don't like what you're doing here, what you have. When you get past it, then okay, it's done. But I would agree with I like Lionheart a lot.
I can't really say. It's very difficult for me to say. I can't choose one. We worked so hard on everyone, so it's difficult to say. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You guys are releasing a limited run of vinyl on black and clear and yellow, and you're doing a 1,200 limited run. Are you guys fans of vinyl yourself?
Yeah, I like vinyls. I don't really collecting anymore, but when I was younger, I did a lot of collecting. So it's cool.
I got this vinyl player, like a Bluetooth vinyl player at home, so I can connect it to my modern hi-fi system. and then the real fanatics, they say that okay, you can't go from analog to digital, but I like to collect vinyls, and I like to. It's a certain feeling listening to that format in that way.
The physical aspect is nicer than the modern way.
I think after years of us just gravitating towards streaming and not having anything to hold, we kind of started to crave something to hold again.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole album format comes from that as well. So that's the whole reason why we're doing these 10 tracks, I guess. Really, in the digital world, there is really no reason why were we sticking to 10 tracks or whatever. But that's the format we all grown up with.
It's basically only in hard rock or heavy metal that the album is even a thing right now. I think it's all about singles in other types of music. It feels like.
Absolutely. You guys you did a single prior to this album. You did a 7-inch single, which was kind of unique, and it's two songs that don't appear on this album. It's Demon's Eye and Midnight Burner. So that was kind of a nod to the old school.
Yeah, exactly. They will actually appear on the Brazilian version of Fatal Encounter, both those songs. So it's a bit special. But otherwise, yeah, you are correct. It was special. It was a solution we did then. We didn't really had power to make an album at that time, so we chose to make a single to have something, and it came out cool.
Absolutely. And on the Fatal Encounter album, you got fantastic artwork that harkens back to the 70s and 80s. The artist is Jared Hagman. How did you guys find him?
I have always loved the airbrush style of the 80s, and I was searching around a lot, and I came across this. It's called Chrome and Lightning. His company, or how to say it, and I sent him, and yeah, it was. I think it's really cool, the airbrush style.
And have you guys toured with FREDRIK at the helm yet? Because I couldn't find any history of touring after 2017.
Yeah, I joined 2017, and we did some extensive touring for Across the Line throughout
two Europe tour.
More. 2017, 18, and 19 was a lot of touring.
And
I guess for the band, it was the most intense period of touring. So
this time was a lot of gigs.
Do you have anything planned for 2023 as far as touring or live shows are concerned?
We have actually not any plans, but we haven't closed the door either. It's more like we worked so much with this album that it's a bit of a relaxing time now.
You kind of hit a wall almost. That's what it feels like when you work so intensely with something.
Absolutely. And the scene right now is clogged with bands trying to make up dates from the pandemic.
That's a huge reason why I'm not too keen on going on tour at the moment. It's sort of like inflation of bands, I feel. I even heard from people saying that there's too many gigs, so they have to choose one to go to, because they can't go on everything.
It was like during the pandemic where everybody was releasing an album because they could and couldn't tour, and then my money only goes so far. So FREDRIK, you joined the band in just before the 2017 tour. Andy, how did you find him?
I think we saw I think it was Magnus, actually, the other guitarist in the band. He saw a music video with FREDRIK from his other band, OSUKARU. And I liked his voice a lot. So I contacted him. Simple as that.
Because I guess the thing is, looking for people that are not in a band currently is very hard. So you gotta, this guy I want, you take him.
To be honest, when someone is not in a band or very active, it's often a reason why they are not in a band or very active. So yeah, I have almost always done it that way. Check what they are thinking or what their vision is, even if they are in a band.
In doing my research, I did realize that FREDRIK was in OSUKARU, and this was one of my favorite.
Yeah, look at that. Nice.
One of my favorite albums of 2021 was Starbound. Fantastic album. FREDRIK, you should be really proud of it. Are you still working with them as well?
Yeah.
They will play shows, not Air Raid. You will play festivals.
There are some festivals booked this spring, and I guess there's an album cooking there as well somewhere.
somewhere.
He'll call you when he needs the vocals.
Yeah. That's the arrangement.
Andy, do you have any other side projects besides Air Raid?
I'm doing some stuff. Basically, I like a lot of music. Heavy metal is one part, but I also love the 80s synth funk pop style. So I have it like a little side project. I have some songs. I will see what happens with that.
You don't have anything out currently with that kind of sound?
No, nothing else. It's actually a secret. I don't know why I was told you. But now it's not secret anymore.
But
Well,
it's
you
nice,
didn't give up.
It's nice to get all the creativity you got to get it out, so you can,
Yeah.
so you don't get clogged internally with all.
We are not like this band is the members in this band is definitely not only living and breathing heavy metal 24/7. We love heavy metal, but we are more like the musicians that we like. Good music is good music, That's how it is.
It feels like over here in America that it's heavy metal or nothing. If you're into metal,
and in America you got a different touch on things, so it's nice that there can be nuances.
yeah, it's like gatekeeping. You're into metal and you can't be into anything else, it seems like. But
Okay.
some people venture out, but metal is it.
There are those that think that way here too. So
Yeah.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you, Frederick. Andy, the new album is Fatal Encounter. It comes out February 24th on High Roller Records. And I want to thank you for speaking with KNAC.com today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.